Shedeur has a deal with Gatorade and Nike. Now, these are like deals that premier athletes get, like your Caitlin Clarks, your LeBrons, people like that, and it's rare that you see, Shedeur being a fifth-round quarterback with these type of deals. Now, I must say, Shedeur signed all of these deals, from my understanding, before he was drafted, because no one thought in a million years Shedeur was going to go to the fifth round. Maybe second if they was really hating, but they went unprecedented type hating and made him slide down to the fifth round.
NFL owners are losing their minds right now, and it has nothing to do with what's happening on the field. Nike just went all in on Shedeur Sanders with a deal that's making fifth-round quarterbacks look like first overall superstars, and the league is absolutely furious about it. We're talking signature sneakers, player exclusives, and a legendary branding campaign that's bigger than anything we've seen since his dad revolutionized the shoe game. While other rookies are fighting for roster spots, Shedeur's out here getting the LeBron James treatment from Nike. And trust me, the old guard in the NFL is not happy about a fifth-rounder getting this kind of love before he's even proven himself on Sundays.
You can see here, it's several photos, bruh. It say legendary on the back upside down. Now, Deion Sanders, legendary Shedeur Sanders at Nike, posted by Deion Sanders Jr. Shout out to Bucky, the homeboy. So you guys can look in the back there. There's a brown pair right there. These patent leather ones so damn nasty, bro. My God, look at the patent leather ones, bro. These are cold-blooded, man. I mean, hella nice, bro. And then it looked like it's a low top red pair, but I believe those could be some cleats. Now, Deion Sanders, so here we go. Legendary in the black and legendary.
So let me break down what's really happening here, because this story goes way deeper than just some cool sneakers dropping. This is about Nike making a statement. This is about a fifth-round quarterback getting treated like royalty, while first-round picks are still waiting for their endorsement calls. And this is about the NFL establishment absolutely hating the fact that Shedeur Sanders is rewriting every rule in the book about how rookies are supposed to move in this league. First, let's talk about what actually went down. Coach Prime posted a picture on Instagram the other day, and honestly, most people scrolled right past it. But if you looked close, real close, you would have seen something that should have broken the internet immediately. On the back of these unreleased Nike sneakers, it said one word: legendary. Not just legendary, legendary. Upside down, flipped, different, just like everything Shedeur does. Now, think about this for a second. Name me one fifth-round quarterback. Hell, name me any fifth-round player who has their own player edition sneakers coming out in their sophomore year. I'll wait. You can't, can you? Because it doesn't exist. This has never happened before in NFL history, and that's exactly why the league's power brokers are sitting in their luxury boxes absolutely furious right now. Here's what people don't understand about Shedeur's Nike deal. This wasn't some last-minute thing that happened after he got drafted. No. Shedeur signed this deal before the draft, before he slid to the fifth round, before all the chaos and controversy. Nike locked him in when everyone thought he was going top 10, maybe top 15 if teams were really sleeping. But here's the beautiful part. When Shedeur fell to the fifth round in what can only be described as unprecedented levels of hate, Nike didn't back out, they didn't renegotiate, they doubled down. And it's not just Nike either. Shedeur's got a Gatorade deal too. Let that sink in. A fifth-round quarterback has endorsement deals with Nike and Gatorade. You know who else has deals like that? LeBron James, Caitlin Clark, generational superstars who transcend their sport. That's the company Shedeur is keeping right now, and he hasn't even started a full NFL season yet. The source material straight up says these are deals that premier athletes get. Not good athletes, not promising athletes, premier athletes, the elite of the elite. And Shedeur's walking into the league with that level of backing while guys drafted 50 spots ahead of him are still trying to get a local car dealership commercial.
NFL draft, Nike has, listen, Nike has heavily invested in Shedeur. The brand has promoted him on social media, designed player-exclusive kicks, and leaned into his legendary mantra. During practice and pregame warm-up, Shedeur Sanders has worn Nike DT96 cleats and player-exclusive Browns colorways. He recently revealed the handwritten message on each cleat.
Now let's talk about these sneakers themselves because they're absolutely nasty. We're talking about the Nike Air DT Max 96 Low in what they're calling the Legendary colorway. These are player-exclusive versions of Coach Prime's signature line, but with Shedeur's own twist. Multiple shades of purple, metallic accents, and that legendary branding flipped upside down on the heels. When you see them right side up, you know exactly what they represent. When you see them upside down while Shedeur's making plays, you know exactly who's wearing them. Coach Prime, who is arguably the Michael Jordan of football when it comes to the shoe game, has been successful with his signature line. His sneakers sell out, they create buzz, they make statements. But here's the thing, besides Mike Vick back in the day, name another NFL player who's had their own signature sneaker and actually moved units. You can't, can you? That's because it doesn't happen in football. Basketball owns the sneaker game, always has. But Shedeur is about to change all of that. And you want to know why Nike's so confident? Because they've seen the numbers. They've seen the social media engagement. They've seen how Shedeur moves the needle in ways that traditional football metrics don't capture. This kid has something that can't be taught, can't be coached, and definitely can't be measured by where you get drafted. Sports Illustrated broke down the details, and it's wild when you really dig into it. The article says Nike has heavily invested in Shedeur. Let me read that again. Heavily invested. They're promoting him on social media like he's a franchise cornerstone. They've designed player-exclusive kicks in Browns colorways. They've leaned into his legendary mantra during practice and pre-game warm-ups. This isn't some small endorsement deal where they send you free shoes and hope you wear them. This is a full-scale marketing campaign built around a fifth-round quarterback. And here's where it gets controversial. Here's where NFL owners start losing sleep at night. Because if Nike can make this work, if they can turn a fifth-round pick into a sneaker-selling phenomenon, what does that say about the draft? What does that say about the scouting departments these teams spend millions on? What does that say about the entire system that's supposed to determine value in the NFL? It says the system failed. It says the draft process is broken. It says that 31 teams passed on Shedeur multiple times, and Nike, a company whose entire business model depends on identifying stars before they become stars, saw something those NFL GMs missed.
You know, Shedeur being a fifth-round quarterback with these type of deals. Now, I must say, Shedeur signed all of these deals, from my understanding, before he was drafted, because no one thought in a million years Shedeur was going to go to the fifth round. Maybe second if they was really hating, but they went unprecedented type hating and made him slide down to the fifth round. Now, with that being said, we go head on over to Google, man. Check out this article right here because this is big time news, man, from Sports Illustrated. It says Deion Sanders preview. Shedeur Sanders.
Think about the timing here. All the headlines surrounding Shedeur throughout the season, not getting first-team reps, the whole Kevin Stefanski relationship drama, the Dillon Gabriel quarterback controversy in Cleveland, and obviously the biggest one of all, sliding to the fifth round when everyone projected him to go way higher. All of that noise, all of that controversy, all of that hate, and through it all, Nike stood firm. They didn't waver. They didn't pull back. They kept pushing forward with Shedeur because they know something the haters don't. They know he's different. They know he's special. They know that when the lights come on and the games matter, Shedeur Sanders delivers. And they're willing to bet millions of dollars on it. Now, let's talk about these April releases because this is where things get really interesting. There are black player-exclusive sneakers coming out in April with Shedeur's logo on them, not Coach Prime's logo, Shedeur's logo. Ice blue bottoms that are absolutely cold-blooded. These aren't just his dad's shoes with a different color. These are Shedeur Sanders' signature pieces, and they're dropping during a time when he'll be deep in off-season workouts, preparing to prove every doubter wrong. And here's a little nugget that people are sleeping on. There are rumors, strong rumors, that Shedeur might be switching back to number 2. If that happens, if he goes back to the number he wore at Colorado, the number that became synonymous with his brand, those number 12 Browns jerseys people bought are about to become vintage collector's items overnight. And you know Nike's already thinking about that. They're already planning the number 2 jersey rollout, the number 2 sneaker colorways, the whole rebrand. But let's get back to why this has NFL owners so heated. Because it's not really about the sneakers. It's about what the sneakers represent. It's about power dynamics in the league shifting. It's about players controlling their own narratives instead of waiting for teams to validate them. It's about the old guard, the traditional football establishment, realizing that their opinion matters less and less in today's game. Shedeur didn't wait for the Browns to make him a starter before building his brand. He didn't wait for NFL films to create his highlight reel. He didn't wait for permission from anyone. He went out, performed at an elite level in college, built a massive following, and attracted the biggest athletic brand in the world. And he did it all on his own terms. That terrifies the NFL ownership class. Because if every player can do what Shedeur's doing, if every player can build their own empire independent of where they're drafted or how much playing time they get, then what leverage do teams have? How do you control players who don't need you to be successful? How do you negotiate with someone who's making millions off the field before they ever step on yours? You can't, and that's the point. Now, I want to address something directly because I know there's going to be hate in the comments. People saying Shedeur's overhyped. People saying he hasn't earned this. People saying Nike's making a mistake. And to those people, I have one question. When has Nike ever been wrong about an athlete's marketability? Seriously, when? They built their entire empire on identifying stars before everyone else did. They signed Michael Jordan when he was a rookie. They bet on LeBron when he was in high school. They saw Kobe's potential before he became Kobe. So maybe, just maybe, instead of doubting Shedeur, you should be doubting the 31 teams that passed on him. Because Nike's track record speaks for itself. And if they're going all in on Shedeur Sanders with signature sneakers, player exclusives, and a full marketing campaign, then you better believe they see something extraordinary.
These right here, bruh. These are cold-blooded, bruh. This is my first time seeing these. I ain't never seen these. Damn. Do they say legendary on the back? No, but they say, bro, these are, look at the ice blue bottom. Look at the ice blue bottom. Oh, shit. So these are coming out in April. These are coming out in April, bro. These right here are coming out in April, and they got Shedeur logo in there. Now, something that I've been hearing, maybe allegedly, is Shedeur possibly going back to the number 2.
Here's what's really happening. Nike is making a statement that talent doesn't care about draft position. They're saying that stars are born, not selected. They're saying that Shedeur Sanders has something that can't be measured by combine drills or pro day workouts, and they're putting their money where their mouth is. The legendary branding isn't just a clever tagline, it's a prophecy. It's Nike telling the world, we believe this kid is going to be legendary, and we're hitching our wagon to his star right now. That's bold. That's confident. That's the kind of move that either makes you look like a genius or gets you fired. And Nike's betting on the genius part. Think about the visuals here. Imagine Shedeur walking into the stadium on game day, wearing those black and purple legendary sneakers, cameras flashing, social media going crazy, kids in the stands wearing the same shoes, trying to be like him. That's not just an endorsement deal. That's cultural impact. That's transcending the sport. That's exactly what Coach Prime did in his playing days, and now his son's doing the same thing in a completely different era. And you know what the craziest part is? Shedeur's doing this while being doubted. He's doing this while people question his arm strength, his draft stock, his ability to succeed in the NFL. He's doing this while carrying the weight of being Coach Prime's son, while dealing with unrealistic expectations, while facing more scrutiny than any fifth-round pick in history. And through it all, he stays legendary. That's why Nike loves him. That's why this deal makes sense. That's why, despite what the haters say, Shedeur Sanders is going to prove everyone wrong and make this one of the smartest investments Nike's ever made. So when you see those sneakers drop in April, when you see Shedeur wearing them during warm-ups, when you see kids lining up outside Foot Locker trying to get their hands on a pair, remember this moment. Remember when everyone said he didn't deserve it. Remember when people questioned Nike's decision. Remember when NFL owners were furious that a fifth-rounder was getting superstar treatment. And then remember how wrong they all were. Because at the end of the day, Shedeur Sanders isn't just selling sneakers, he's selling a belief system. He's selling the idea that where you're drafted doesn't define you. He's selling the dream that if you work hard enough, believe in yourself enough, and stay true to who you are, you can achieve legendary status no matter what anyone else thinks. And that's why Nike's all in. That's why this deal is bigger than football. That's why NFL owners are losing sleep. Because Shedeur Sanders represents a fundamental shift in how athletes build their brands, control their narratives, and define success on their own terms. The establishment can hate it all they want, but they can't stop it. Because Shedeur's already won. He's already legendary. And those sneakers, they're just proof of what we already knew. So here's my question for you. Do you think Shedeur's Nike deal is deserved, or do you think he needs to prove himself on the field first? Drop your honest opinion in the comments right now. And if you think Shedeur is about to make everyone look stupid, type legendary down below. Let's see how many of you believe. If you're hyped for these sneakers to drop, smash that like button right now. Hit subscribe so you don't miss when Shedeur proves all the doubters wrong, and turn on notifications because trust me, this is just the beginning of the Shedeur Sanders takeover. The NFL isn't ready for what's coming.